It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes, but don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. Some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend of Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wants to hear from Sandra.
Good morning. Happy Friday. Wow, that came by quickly. Well, that's what happens when you have a holiday week. Yeah, whole day is gone, and next thing you know, kaboom, it's Friday all over again. Amazing. Everybody ready? All right, so today we got lots of things happening in the community. We will be airing live the 2026 Education Conference. That's coming up here at 8:30 a.m. So get ready for that. And also, so we'll have some open mic until that point. And then also we have a press conference today at 3 p.m. with the health minister. So we'll be live streaming that right here on CMR TV as well. So don't forget, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, cmrtv.com. And of course, you can also catch us on Bobo 103.1 FM. So lots of options there. Do join us. Yes, if you're not listening now, that is. Some of you are still rolling out of bed, I feel like, this morning. So how about this lovely weather, huh? Yeah, I see some of you saying you're putting on your sweaters and all that wonderful stuff. Winter's here. The US of A is getting blanketed with snow. It's like, wow. It's pretty wild, actually. Lots of snow, lots of power outages for them. I'm so glad we're not in that position. I can't imagine it being that cold and then having no power. Child, I'd be like, not today, Bobo. So, and people have died from the snowstorm, not to make light of it. But, you know, anytime you have extreme temperatures, whether it's heat or cold, unfortunately, there are people who are just not prepared. They're homeless people who are impacted by it as well. And so let me see if I can get the death toll for you guys. Sad. And I think it's sticking around a bit more. So the Super Bowl is coming up. Is it the first weekend in February? So as of the latest reports, estimates from January 23rd to the 26th, and obviously it's still going, range from about 60 to more than 70 people, on depending on which outlet you look at. And some cases have not yet been confirmed. So they think, well, it's at least 62 people that have died because of this storm-related deaths. They've categorized it as, and there will be additional people, no doubt, added to that list. Wowee, crazy, huh? So, lots of places are being impacted by it. Pretty much every single state is getting a severe chill. And it's not stopping because they are expecting even more. One headline this morning says powerful bomb cyclone to deliver snow and hurricane force winds to southeast this weekend. So snow, it's not just the snow. They've got damaging winds and dangerous coastal flooding are expected to impact parts of the southern Appalachians, the Carolinas, and southern Virginia this weekend as a powerful winter storm rapidly intensifies off the southeast coast. Pretty wild. I mean, I think we only think of storms as, hurricanes. Well, they are winter storms as well. And these winter storms come packing lots of things, right? So, yep. The impacts are going to begin later on today into Saturday with snow and hurricane force gusts. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine it. I cannot imagine having snow and hurricane force winds gusting. And this is going to happen along parts of North Carolina, Virginia, the Virginia coast by Saturday night. Coastal New England. You're going to get something too, honey child. Eastern Massachusetts could see snow and wind later in the weekend if the storm tracks closer to shore. So this is an actual cyclone, except it's winter and it comes with the snow and the freezing winds. So they say that this low pressure system is expected to form near North Carolina coast late on Friday, and it's going to rapidly intensify as it moves north. Saturday, a process known as bombogenesis. Bombogenesis. Oh, I've never heard this. I've heard of another bombaclete. But I've never heard of bombogenesis before. There you go. It says that it's a bomb cyclone. Who knew? A bomb cyclone. Anyway, it will draw very cold southward, allowing snow to fall across areas that often don't see significant winter weather. So if you're in its path, pay attention. There's a whole thing here on what is a bomb cyclone. Well, let's educate ourselves a little bit. Apparently, it says here, it is a type of storm system. It pops up from time to time, and it is defined as a rapidly intensifying storm that fulfills one important criterion. Generally, pressure must drop 24 millibars within 24 hours. Oh, we know all about pressure dropping in millibars from our storms, from hurricanes. So it says that that benchmark is also based on the latitude of the storm, so the millibar requirement can change depending on where the storm forms. All right. So the term can be traced back to a meteorological research paper published in 1980 in the Monthly Weather Review. Its authors, who were MIT meteorologists Fred Sanders and John, let's see if we can pronounce his last name, Kayacum. built upon work by Swedish meteorologist researcher Thor Bergeron, who had initially defined it as rapidly deepening storms as those that met the 24 millibar in 24 hours criterion. So that's the history of the term. It came from that report because he had kind of laid out the rules of what the storm would be. And they added the term bomb because of the explosive power that these storms derive from rapid pressure drops. Okay. So that's what they're in store for. More snow, quite a storm. And further south, they're still going to have accumulating snow. South Carolina into eastern Georgia, temperatures are going to remain cold enough for snow. Totals in the area are generally expected to be lower, but even an inch or less of snow could be disruptive in some places like Atlanta that rarely see winter weather. All the way down to Atlanta. I wonder if the Panhandle is getting much of anything. So very cold already. Air is already in place. And so that's going to allow snow to further accumulate. Powerful winds could create blizzard conditions. So let's talk about the winds, because this is the part that I'm like, okay, snow. Yeah, I get it. You're snowed in. But honey child, the winds. The storm is intensifying offshore. Yes. So winds will significantly worsen impacts across the southeast and mid-Atlantic. The strongest winds are expected near the coast, with gusts where gusts could reach hurricane force. Hurricane force freezing. 75 miles per hour along parts of North Carolina and Virginia shoreline by Saturday night. Wow. So it says that where the winds can coincide with heavy snow, blizzard conditions are possible with near zero visibility and extremely dangerous travel, particularly on the outer banks of North Carolina and into southeast Virginia. Further inland, they're still going to get strong and persistent winds, pose serious problems, gusts of 25 to 35 miles per hour, expected from Georgia through the Carolinas and into southern Virginia, with higher gusts possible at times. No, sir. Wowee. Anyway, I guess I'll take hurricanes over this. I mean, not for nothing, but at least you're not going to freeze to death on top of everything. Ay. Wow. So our friends in America, we're going to keep you in our thoughts, honey child, because y'all going to need it. Please stay indoors if you can. So death toll from winter storms and cold increases, and some people will be without power weeks, not days. My Lord, weeks after freezing temperature. Ugh, I'll take the heat. Give me the heat. So damage from ice and cold was most significant in the stretch from East Texas through Louisiana, Mississippi, into Nashville, Tennessee. Power officials in Nashville said to expect lengthy outages from this, and they put in quotations, historic storm. And Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves deployed up to 500 members of the state National Guard to assist. Reeves said on Monday, it's somewhat like a whack-a-mole. Every time one of the utility companies and power companies gets a large group back online, we have another tree fall or another limb fall. We will go through this, but we're not going to get through it today. We're not going to get through it tomorrow. It's going to take time. Lord have mercy. 175 million people are under cold alerts for frigid temperatures that is expected to linger for days. And the brutal cold is setting new record daily lows in the plains. More records expected in the south and east through at least this week. And again, they're keeping an eye on that East Coast dangerous storm. Well, I mean, I like to look at snow, but I could certainly appreciate that it's a lot. So they've had people involved in vehicular crashes that have passed away, unfortunately. They have a 62-year-old man and a 59-year-old woman died of suspected hypothermia in their homes. Aw. Because, you know, some of them seniors, they're really at a disadvantage. They can't afford a lot. And so, you know, maybe they had heat, but then when the power goes out, you don't have any more heat. Oh my goodness. 79-year-old woman whose medical device failed during a power outage. Oh my God. We know what that feels like. Lord Jesus. In Texas, we had 3 brothers. Oh Lord, a whole family of brothers, ages 6, 8, and 9. They all fell through the ice in a private pond and died in Texas, just north of Dallas. Then you had 2 16-year-old girls riding a sled, pulled by a Jeep, hit a tree, killing one and leaving the other in critical condition. You see, because people now are getting out doing things they wouldn't ordinarily do, sledding, getting on these icy ponds and stuff, and not thinking probably that it's all that dangerous. The most infrastructure damage was to the south, where ice made roads slick, snapped tree limbs, and weighed down power lines. Someone said it's like driving. This is Tom Lindsay, who's a coordinator for the Tippah County Emergency Management there in Mississippi. He said it's like driving on a 30-mile ice cube. No, sir. As of Tuesday morning, hundreds of thousands of electricity customers have regained power. You can go check out the poweroutage.us website. And they say that was a drastic improvement from the million customers who suffered from outages at one point. But more than 500,000 customers remained in the dark as of Tuesday afternoon, including around 170,000 in Tennessee, 140,000 in Mississippi, and under 100,000 in Louisiana. So this storm is really a big wallop. And also how wide the storm is. So you've got the breadth of the storm means that much of the country is actually dealing in some way with its aftermath. Snow was on the ground for just over 56% of the lower 48 states on Monday. And at least a foot of snow fell in 18 states, stretching from New Mexico up and over to Maine. And so the power outages are prolonged power outages are expected in the South. Mississippi. So outages took, they're remembering the historic 1994 ice storm where outages took 24 days to restore. And they say that, okay, modern upgrades may speed up repairs compared with 1994, but the restoration will not be quick. So they're telling people to prepare for days worth of, weeks worth of outages. Oh my gosh, pretty wild. Stay bundled up, folks. Stay bundled up. But I mean, yeah, imagine a hurricane, but you got the snow on top of it. Well, I'm trying to think who we know. Oh, we know somebody in Massachusetts. I'm going to go check on her right now. Hold on one second. Massachusetts. I think she's in Massachusetts, right? Hold on. Oh Lord, hold on. Oh Lord. Her name is escaping me at the moment. Oh, of course. Got it. Okay, let me see. Can just check in with her and see how they're doing. Because, child, this, oh my goodness, the storm. How are you all holding up in this winter storm? Yeah, because she's got a grandbaby and everything. All right. Someone says mom and family are expecting to lose power later today or tomorrow, then be without it for the week. But they're country people and can survive without it just fine. Really? Somebody just sent, oh, this is funny. Hold on. This is really hilarious. Someone sent this. It says, it is so cold that I just saw a politician with his hands in his own pockets. Ay, ay, ay. Yes, sir. Politicians with his hands in his own pocket. That's how cold it is. But look at some of the pictures, right? Down power lines. That pole is just like trying to hang on, but not doing too good. Oh, the other 16-year-old died, Jim, in that accident. Oh my God. What the hell? Really? Oh, so sad to hear that. Someone say, oh, remember Caymanian students overseas to be prepared, get supplies, gather with friends, don't stay alone during the storm. Yes. Oh my gosh, I was even thinking about us. I was thinking about the poor Americans. But I suppose we have students probably all over the US. So yeah. Please be careful. Oh, wow. Okay. Yay. Good morning, country folks have wood burning chimneys, stoves, gas, and winter cellars. They're better off than the city folks. Yeah. Wow. All right. So yeah, bundle up, folks. Don't go out in it if you don't have to, because the roads are very, very dangerous. And you're not gonna, where are you going? I mean, I'm sure pretty much nothing is open. Just stay put. You just like the storms here, always have your little pre-storm kits ready and prepared. And yeah. What do you eat? Because I mean, again, even hurricanes, like, okay, you can eat canned goods, whatever. I mean, during that kind of storm, you want something warm. You want some good chili and some hot cocoa and stuff like that. And I don't think you're going to get any of that with this storm. My goodness. Okay. All right, let's read some comments this morning. Let me turn my camera on as well. Oh, well, I won't be doing that now, will I? Hold on. Let me restart. Unplug the camera and restart it. I didn't even notice that it actually wasn't on. Let me just restart it and see. It's, I think when I came in the studio this morning, I noticed the computer was off. I don't know if it tried to update or wagwan, computer. Tell me, talk to me. Something happened. All right, we're gonna get that sorted out here. Good folks. All right, let me see what we got. We got, Usual suspects in class this morning. Miss Barbara G is here. Wee wee, good morning to Marshall. Marshall, how are you doing, girl? Boy, send us a picture of the outside. We want to see your backyard. Good morning, Miss Stephanie Brooks in the house. Island Pearl, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Plain and Straight is here. Damaris is here. Damaris, you're in NYC, right? What's happening in your neck of the woods? Diane, Diamond Princess. Happy Friday, Abby. Robert, good morning. Irvelyn, Jackie's here for it. Plain and Straight said I had to wear my sweatshirt hoodie when I put my dogs out in the yard this morning, and they hurried to do their business and get back inside as quickly as they could. Plain and Straight, where are you? Don't tell me you're in Cayman doing all that. Oh, what happened to my camera, honey child? Let's see if we can't fix this. Fix it, Jesus. Okay, that's a little bit better. Something still seems a bit off with my camera, though. I think normally it's not so high. Let me see. Oh my goodness, so sorry. Oh, it's a hot mess this morning. Let me try to straighten it up a little bit. And I can't not straighten it without doing it this way because then I can't see it. So let me see. I need to. Okay, how's that? Kind of okay-ish. I'm going to get my green screen back and start doing virtual backgrounds. There we go. Okay. So in our neck of the woods, is it that cold for a hoodie in Cayman? I don't know. A little sweater, but I don't know if you're going to be covering up your head. Y'all just want to be feeling like you're in the middle of the snowstorm. Marshall says 85 people plus have died so far from this storm. We're supposed to get more snow here in North Carolina tomorrow. Huh. Plain and Straight says, yes, snow and hurricane force winds at the same time. Sounds like a nightmare come true. I'm telling you. That doesn't sound particularly pleasant to me. Morning, Patricia. Good morning, Miss Marjorie. Miss Lucille joining us. How's it going in the UK? Jim says, my family and friends are all in its path and are having and have been preparing once again. Goodness gracious me. Well, hopefully, Jim, everybody will be safe and sound. Elijah, good morning. Jim says Oxford, Mississippi got slammed this past weekend due to the ice. Miss Darlene, I wonder if the ice storms is slowing down ice. You know, the other ice. I guess you've seen the videos of ice falling in ice. That's been interesting. We got some breaking news coming later on today, honey chill. Okay, let me see here now. Good morning, Miss Emma. KK is here. She's heartbroken. I can't believe it. It's so sad. Oh. Barbara says I have family in Italy who I'm very worried about because Italy is breaking apart from landslides. Landslides in Italy? Really? I hadn't even heard about that one. There's just so much going on around the world. Miss Pat says, good morning. Global warming is a real thing. I saw somebody making a joke, not for nothing, but you know they have to be a Trump lover to talk certain things. I mean, they don't believe in anything. They believe the earth is flat and they don't believe that global warming is real. So this person is making fun of the whole global warming thing, saying, oh, because of all this ice, yeah, I guess the global warming thing is fake. I'm like, you know, this particular person is in many respects intelligent. And then they say certain things that makes me scratch my head and my bonky at the same time. I'd be like, what? I mean, extreme weather temperatures is a direct result of what is happening with the ozone and the environment, not just extreme hot weather. So yes, global warming, but even extreme weathers, extreme, flooding and just everything is a direct result of what we're doing to the environment. But I just have to keep scrolling. I'm in my head, I'm literally like Sandy. Do pass go. When you're in your Monopoly game, collect your $200 and pass go. Just keep scrolling. Do not respond to these idiots. But when I see it, I can rub my eyes. I'd be like, am I seeing right? But then you got to know that you can't engage in every one of these conversations because, child, you'd get nothing else done. Lord. Jim says wood stoves or wood burning fireplaces and gas stoves are lifesavers in the winter weather and times like these. Now, the newer gas stoves still require like an ignite that is powered by electricity, right? Can you ignite that without power? I've always wondered that. Marjorie says, I wish they would call you the Caymanians overseas. Well, they may not have, I don't want them to waste up their battery power necessarily calling me. I mean, you got to save during times like this. Make sure all phone chargers are going and, in case you need to make an emergency phone call. Yeah. Kim says, good morning. My solar panels have saved me 3 times so far. I'm dreaming of going for dip in 7 Mile Beach right about now. They have saved me 3 times. What does that mean, Kim? You save you 3 months? Or, you mean when you have power outages? I'm confused by that. Jim says it's amazing what you can do with 2 bricks, a candle, terracotta pot, and a cookie sheet to create heat. 27 degrees in Miami, not for nothing, but I'm here for it. I want to go to Miami when it's 27 degrees. Please. Community Raise, do I have a free ticket with you? 27 degrees. I love that for Florida. No snow, but I love the cold. It brings back memories of when I was growing up in the 80s. Florida seems to have been a lot warmer since I've left. But back in the 80s, we used to get this. When they mentioned this storm of 1992, I feel like obviously that would have been my first year of university. I kind of feel like Florida got a lot from that. And I do remember it because I was on campus and I had a bicycle. That's how I used to get around campus back in those days, cycling everywhere. And I was bundled up and I was so cold. And I want to say that Tampa dropped into the teens. I know at least once that I lived there and I was in uni, I remember Tampa going down to like 15, 16 degrees. I'll have to fact check this, but I really feel like, as a matter of fact, let me fact check myself right now. I really feel like that's not just a weird memory, like that actually did happen. So let me see, when was the last time that Tampa, Florida saw weather in the teens? Like 13 degrees. Okay, let me see. You see? So the 18-degree Fahrenheit reading is the only documented instance in modern climate history where Tampa's official low dropped into the teens. More recent yearly low summaries since the 1990s show lows in the 20s or higher, but not in the teens. Oh, so maybe it was in the 20s. All-time record low at Tampa International Airport is 18 degrees Fahrenheit, set on December 13th, 1962. Well, I wasn't around then, so it couldn't have been that one. What storm? Winter storms. What winter? Well, it wouldn't really be a storm in Tampa, but what winter lows did they have in the 90s? Because this would have definitely been in the 90s, because I was at university, so I remember this distinctly, that it was cold. Maybe the feel like temperature was like 13. Maybe that's what I'm remembering. So yes, year by year lows in the 1990s. So 92, okay. It was probably not 13 I was thinking about. It was probably 33. It says in 1991, it was 33 degrees Fahrenheit in Tampa. 92, it was 36. 93, it was 35. 94, 35. I'm telling you, I don't know what it was about the 90s, but we used to have some frigid winters in Tampa. Like we would get frost in the mornings outside. Like you felt like it was about to snow. Yeah, it was cold. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I lived through that. And I used to kind of enjoy it. I love wearing a turtleneck. I had so many turtlenecks in my closet. Nice jackets, and you had to layer stuff. You had to like put on something underneath. You always had your undershirt or whatever. Ladies, you got your bra, you got your undershirt, you got your turtleneck. And sometimes you'd wear something underneath the turtleneck, and then maybe a sweater, and then the jacket. And then the jacket was like doubled lined. I love a good winter jacket. Boots. I didn't do too many scarves because the jackets kind of came all the way up and you just zip them all the way up. Gloves. Oh yeah, you got to protect the extremities. So you got nice thick socks, you got gloves. And then you just try to keep warm. Mm-hmm. Nice porridge for breakfast because then everything warm felt amazing. So I'm here for the 27 degrees in Miami. I feel like I could go to Miami just to feel it. Brr. Morning, Miss Marcia. Jim says, go to the weatherman to get a good source of the weather forecast. Oh, no doubt he's covering all of this. No, I love him. He's so amazing. Plain and Straight says, no, I'm right here with you. Okay, right in Grand Cayman. Barbara says, praying for my family in the US and Europe as the winter storms are hitting hard with floods as well as the bitter cold. Now, there was some winter also hitting the UK as well, some weather. Wow. Really? Poor people over there. Let me just have a quick look at our weather forecast, but I think we're in the 70s. But it feels good to me. I like it. I get to pull out, like I'm wearing a quarter length sleeve this morning, Might take a little sweater on the road with me. Let me see. So we've been car sharing for the last week. And can I just tell you, it's not easy to share a car in the Cayman Islands. It really isn't. Logistically, if you're a person that has to move around and you can't travel into town together, yeah. So I am, and then Marlon has to come, if I have an appointment later on, he has to come and pick me up. So, why haven't I gotten a weather forecast since? Okay, this is weird, but I don't see anything since Tuesday from our local weather folks. Today is Friday. Does that sound right, Mr. Gilbert? Hold on, let me see if I'm missing. Let me search by name. Oh, yeah, I haven't got anything since Tuesday about the weather forecast. Let me just message them. Good morning. No weather forecast since this one on Tuesday. Thanks. Just in case something's going on with their email. I don't know. Okay, gonna send that right now off to the meteorologist. Forecaster, senior weather forecaster. I don't know what's going on. Well, I can't, it doesn't make any sense to read the old news, the old weather. So let's see if we can get something updated, something new. Nothing since Tuesday. Okay. All right. None of the ICE agents got scooped up. They're having to stay inside. Miss Wanda, good morning to you. Had 9 inches last Saturday, and there's another snowstorm coming in for this weekend. And she's in Boothwyn, Pennsylvania? Wow, Miss Wanda. Brr. So what do? Do you have power, Wanda? And you just do what? You just stay inside, I guess, because what else is there to do? KK says, come see Auntie and her little bicycle now. That wasn't a little bicycle, child. That was my transportation. Yes, those back in those days, I was cycling and walking all over campus. That's why I used to be so slim and trim. And then I was like, oh, I'm so fat. I'm like, oh, little did you know. So Jim says, yes, you can utilize a gas stove, even the newer models without electricity. Oh, I need to learn how to do that just in case. It snowed in Florida. When was that? I think the Panhandle, all the way at the top. Sometimes they get snow. So Miss Marjorie says she remembers that her house in Prospect went to 55 degrees. When was that? Hold on. Let me ask my AI assistant. What have we named her again? Amanda, Samantha, something. When has it ever been in the 50s in the Cayman Islands? Let's see. She's thinking, she's researching, and she says the following. The Cayman Islands has been in the 50s on a few rare winter nights, with the all-time official record low set at 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh my God, really? 52 in the Caymans? In the Caymans? Say it ain't so. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service lists the record minimum temperature as 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Climatological summaries show record lows around 52 to 54, confirming that at least some winter cold front events have pushed the temperature into the upper 50s to low 50s. When did this happen? The typical dry season. Okay, when did this happen? It doesn't say. Okay, when did it go that low? Let me ask. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's amazing. So record of 52 happened in the Cayman Islands, occurred in February 1968 at the Owen Roberts International Airport, definitely before I was born. So that's our low temperature. Who would have guessed that? Huh, that's some good trivia right there. Y'all better hold on to that one. That might show up in a future trivia question. Wow, February of 1968. I wonder what the storm was like that was causing that weather to drop. What was the temperature in Miami? Let's ask. Okay, what was the temperature like in Miami at that time? Yes. Let's see what Miami was like. Checking for February 1968. So the temperature was the same in Miami, if not higher? How did that happen? Where did the storm come from? So it says for February 1968, it was lows in the 50s and highs in the 70s. Daily data from Miami shows typical February lows around 50 to 60 degrees with highs in the low to mid 70s that month. So long-term climate statistics list the overall February record low for Miami as 27 degrees set in 1917. So the February 1968 cold that coincided with the Cayman 52 degrees Fahrenheit was noticeable, but not extreme by Miami standards. Isn't that crazy? So it wasn't even that cold in Miami. Interesting. Wow. That must have been something. Y'all must have thought the world was about to end, Cayman. Yeah. Huh. Buenos dias, Can. Orlando in the 20s, Sarasota's in the 30s as lows. Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Kim says, yes, the lights went out 3 times in my neighborhood, and thank God my panels kicked in. My mother uses oxygen, plug-in, and portable. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, be careful. Make sure you have, listen now, have a backup on the backup with these things, because we saw what happened to poor Noel, right? The power goes out and your oxygen or your breathing machine needs 24/7 power. It's like sometimes you don't even think about these things. So Jim says it's 75 degrees here in Grand Cayman. Okay, it's going to be 66 this weekend in the early hours. Oh, that's nice. Awful weather in the UK right now, too, says Miss Barbara. Let's check out what's happening in the UK. Give me 1 second. Let me go to our little friends at the BBC and see Wagwan. Oh, Lord, y'all scared me. Oh, they had someone who's not too cute pop up right away on the screen. I was like, Lord Jesus, take the wheel. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Oh my Lord, what a mess. Okay, let's see. Let me see. I see. I don't see I don't see anything on their page about the weather. What am I missing here? I'm seeing all sorts of stuff. Science and nature. I mean, I thought if it was that bad, shouldn't it be like the headline story? Sports headlines around the UK. Strange. China has lifted sanctions on 6 British MPs and peers. Supersized illegal rubbish dump. What on earth is that? Secret filming catches locksmith charging 10 times their original quote. Ugh, scammers. Healthcare, visas, and whiskey. Okay. Trump, she's done a great job. Donald Trump praises Melania's documentary. So funny. Australian Open, another Trump story. Fire halts West Coast. Where's the weather? All right, let me just click in the weather tab because it's not making any headline news. Forecasts. They don't seem to be. Bomb cyclone set to bring another round of snow to eastern U.S. They've got that story up. Rain and hail snow to renew flood threat in parts of the UK hard hit by storm Chandra. Oh, they named their winter storms, do they? So, right. So this story updated 13 minutes ago. Oh, it looks so picturesque. Look at the UK looking all pretty. Almost makes you want to go. Rain and hail snow to renew flood threat to parts of the UK hard hit by storm Chandra. Okay. Flooding is continuing to bring disruption to the aftermath of the storm. Danger to life severe storm warnings were in place. The wet weather continues, but it doesn't seem like you guys are. I mean, I see some snow here. Yes. It doesn't say exactly where that is. Murphy's Walk. I don't know where that is. A yellow rain warning for southeast England on Thursday was expected to bring 10 to 15 millimeters of rain, with up to 25 millimeters over the hills. I'm watching the time for the education conference. Seems like you guys are hit more by the flooding, the rainfall. 1/3 of the rainfall that Storm Chandra brought. So whilst not all heavy could cause, some of your roads are underwater. In Axminster, Devon. Ooh, yikes. Looks like y'all got some rain. Okay. Very heavy rain in 24 hours to southwest England. 40 to 70 millimeter. They're using the metric system that I have no clue about. Talk to me in US figures. around half a month's worth of rain. Flooding has been especially widespread and disrupted because of the ground was already saturated. Many areas of the UK have had a very wet month. Parts of southern England have had double the January average rainfall, and Whiteborough in Dartmoor has recorded nearly half a meter of rain. My goodness. Pretty wild. Let me see here. Let me show you guys an image from the UK. Look at that. That's crazy, right? Those cars are like stuck. The road is underwater. Wow. And then there's some places getting snow, hill snow on the way to northern England and southern Scotland. Wow, look at that. My goodness. Here's a little bit of snow. Let me show you the snow pictures coming out of the UK. So once again, Caymanians abroad, please be careful. Students, look at that. A plow machine. So says that rain is likely to turn to hail snow across the Pennies. No, is that Pennies? Peninis or pennies? Penniness. Penniness? Oh, I don't know. And Scottish southern uplands on Thursday night and into Friday morning. 2 to 7 centimeters of snow looks likely above 200-meter elevation, bringing icy conditions and a threat of localized disruption. Well, look at that. What a mess. Shaka says, don't forget that Miami houses used to be built with wood furnace chimneys. So Plain and Straight says the weather report says that the lowest temperature here in Grand Cayman on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday will be 67 degrees. I may have to put on some long johns under my clothes. No. Morning, Andrew says the sun wants to come out, but is blocked by the clouds, right? One ticket was sold for the Melania documentary. I think that was in the UK, but they've been having viewing parties with like their friends. I think there's a viewing party yesterday. And Nicki Minaj, did you guys see this? So Nicki Minaj is all up Trump's rear end. It's just, it's like funny, but kind of disgusting at the same time. How she has like, the switch up is like so bizarre. But she got her gold card. So imagine this. An illegal, undocumented immigrant, Nicki Minaj, who not that long ago, they're like, she's no role model for teens or anybody else, now has been kissing their feet and kissing their behinds and all in it. And Trump gives her this gold card that basically gets her to citizenship. I'm like, how do you think that makes everybody else feels? Who ICE is going out there detaining, who've been going through the proper steps, and they still like poor Mikey and stuff. Oh, you missed an appointment. We're going to throw you in a cell for like 2-3 months. And here comes little Miss whatever. And all she does is kiss somebody's behind enough, get on a few platforms, and all of a sudden you give her a hall pass, a gold card straight to citizenship. I mean, it's so unfair. Really and truly, like, you know, I believe in the process. I believe that everyone should go through whatever the process is, you know, due process. And boy, I tell you what, no, sir. So she's gotten her fast tracking to citizenship, and she's talking about, you know, she's his #1 fan right now. Her husband's a pedophile, convicted sex offender, I think with kids. Her brother's a pedophile. So clearly we also don't care about, you know, criminals that are undocumented. What, does any of this make sense to anybody? Because it doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, husband is a registered sex offender. Exactly. Well, all right, let's check and see if the conference is up and ready yet for education. Oh, did they start on time? No, they're waiting. All right, so let's pull this over here. We're going to get everything ready so that when they launch, we are ready to jump on. It's supposed to start 8:30, so we're going to just get it ready. Okay. All right, so there it is. We're ready when they are. We are ready like Freddie. Okay, so Andrew says yes on the South Coast. Thank you. Put in Italy, Sicily. Let's see what the weather's doing in Italy. Weather in Italy. 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's see. So orange level weather alert across central and southern Italy as Storm Kristen threatens transport network. And then 2 days ago, I saw a headline out of Reuters about the landslide leaves Sicilian town teetering on cliff edge. Oh, this is the one that I think you were talking about. Oh my God. Oh my God. What the hell? Reuters wants me to log in. They want me to subscribe. A major landslide triggered. Oh, wow. Okay, let me find another source that I don't want to subscribe to. Homes in the Sicilian town of Nisimi have been left teetering on the edge of a cliff. Whoa. Oh my God. That's scary. So they've had road collapse, school close, torrential rain has engulfed southern Italy. Cyclone Harry recently reached its most severe phase, continues to cause fear in Sardinia and Sicily. Okay, the weather alert. Okay, so that was last week. Oh my goodness, what the heck is this? Like part of the road collapsed and there's like a car just flipped over in the collapsed part of the road. Whoa. Oh, look at the poor little doggy being rescued. Oh, their highway is just collapsing. Oh, wow. I got to show you guys this picture. Hold on. Let me see if I can save this one. This is crazy. Look at this. Have a look at this. This is like, whoa. Check that out. Isn't that crazy? Like that part of the road just fell in, literally, and took a car with it. Look at the car upside down. Hopefully those people got out. The pipe in the road is exposed. So this is probably the ground just underneath that roadway got so saturated that, it just went boop. Whoa. That's pretty wild. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, extreme weather, honey child. I tell you, what a mess. Here's another piece of, I guess it's the same roadway, but look at that. That is so crazy. Whoa. Miss Barbara, hopefully your family will be okay. I'm trying to get pictures of the city there that you mentioned, that little town that it's literally collapsing, like the cliff, it's falling apart. Is Reuters the only one carrying it and trying to charge me for it? Let me see. Somebody else must have it. So it's this town of, what's it called? Nisimi. The entire hill is collapsing. Landslide in Sicily causes homes to fall off of the. Okay, hold on. I think we found it on Sky News. OMG. What is this? Oh my God. This is crazy. Not for nothing, but this is crazy. Hold on, girl. Let me try and get this up here. Wow. You see, this is the thing with mudslides and yeah, like I'm glad we don't have hilly places here in Cayman. I mean, it's beautiful to look at when it's not falling down on you. But once you have a lot of rain and saturation, it can really not be good. So this is what's happening in Italy. Look at that. Whoa. Oh my God. Are those, I'm trying to look at the picture and determine if at the bottom of that, is that already homes that have fallen down in this? I'm trying to, wow. There's some trucks and stuff down there. So these homes are, you can see some of the homes already are on the part that has eroded. And what do you do with, you can't rebuild that cliff, you know? That's crazy. You know, in some parts of Europe, they allow people to buy homes for like, $1 is what they say, right? Like a minimum investment. And then you have to fix it up. So it's little towns like this that, they're like, come, we need people. We need to invigorate the economy and stuff. But let's I'm trying to see if I can get a video to play, but it's not playing for me. But yeah, that's like, wow. Yeah, even for $1, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm like, no, honey child. I can't. The entire hill is collapsing because of a landslide. 1,500 people evacuated. Oh, I'm going to see if I can get the little video and play that for you guys. We're still waiting on the 2026, my apologies, National Education Conference to begin. It says it's starting soon. So we'll give them some time to sort themselves out. So extreme weather conditions apparently all over. So let's be thankful. Oh my God, Carrie says Makiva and UDP gave out over 3,000 citizenships in a mass grant and not one of them was vetted. I'm not sure where that came from, but you just reminded me that I actually had a dream about Makiva Bush last night. Oh my God. I totally forgot about it. This is the thing with me. I'll have very, very detailed dreams and then I'll forget. I had a dream about Makiva. OMG. Okay, let me see if I can remember the details. Somebody pay attention now. So it was weird because Kim Kardashian was in my dream last night. There was a part in the bathroom and then I had a baby and I was like, I've got to go to the bathroom, but I can't leave my baby with like people I don't know. Kim K, I like you and everything, but I don't know you. So I wasn't about to leave my baby with you. So I was like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom, but I'm gonna have to take the baby with me. And then I was like trying to put the baby on a counter or something as I was using the bathroom. That part of the dream was really weird. But then somebody approached me in the dream. This is what the dream said. Somebody approached me in the dream about, I want you to sit down with someone and have a conversation and see if you guys can't bury the hatchet, right? And I was like, okay. There's certain people that, it's not about burying the hatchet. I just have lost all respect for them. So we keep it moving. And so then I was in an environment that was like an outdoor place where you could like eat because I was having a non-alcoholic beverage. I do remember that. It was minty and refreshing because at one point the waitress like walked by and I was like, oh, can I get a little refresher in my mint drink or whatever? And then the person who I'm supposed to be making amends with is Makiva Bush. So he shows up in all of his glory. Jim says it sounds like a comedy of a dream, right? So all of a sudden, Makiva shows up and he sits down. And I'm thinking, okay, we're supposed to come to some sort of understanding here. And so I let him talk and he starts talking about himself. everything that he's done. Oh, you know, what I've done for the people of the Cayman Islands. And automatically, I'm just like, whoever it was that was trying to broker this deal, I kind of low key, Aniki Hill Brown, I think it was you. You were actually in my dream. I think you, and I know that you would never in a million years be trying to broker this deal. So this dream is off the chart. Cuckoo, cuckoo. So, oh yes, oh it's starting. So yeah, it was Aniki trying to broker, and I'm sitting there going, why is this man talking about himself? I was like, I don't want to hear what he has to say. And in typical McKeever fashion, he was making it all about him. What I've oh, okay, weird. Okay, I'm going to keep talking during these segments of no audio because the radio will shut off if I don't. So, the radio doesn't like silence. Barbara says, let me pull them out while they're, because some people are still getting seated and stuff like that. So let me pull them out while they're still sorting themselves out. They had a little performance by the students there. Come on, admit that secret crush, says Barbara. poor Nikki. Oh my God, poor Nikki's like, I nope. She says, what a dream. Not me, mama. I was minding my business and dreaming about mermaids over here. Aisle 2025. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how the conference goes. People are still look like they're still showing up to the conference. 8:30 is kind of early in the morning. I know for some of y'all to get, depending on which district you're coming from. So this conference this morning, the education conference, is taking place at the John Gray High School, and we're hoping to catch some of the good stuff early this morning. So yeah, what a dream. Needless to say, once he started talking about himself and inflating his ego as he tends to do, I just checked out. I was like, I don't know who thought, Aniki. I don't know why she would have thought this was a great idea, but she must have hit her head. Okay, somebody's coming on the stage, adjusting a microphone, adjusting another microphone, jumping off the stage. Okay. So yes. So listen, I got a little sauce for you guys. You want to hear something? I just received, and I gotta post this up. You guys know that I love me some Cayman Airways, and I do work on trying to get other people to love them too. But honey child, they are increasing their fees. Oh, you're gonna hear it first here in CMR because we get it first, so we share it first. But what fee increases? I'm planning a show on the why is everything going up kind of show. It's not just minimum wage, but I do want to focus in on minimum wage and talk about the real cost of minimum wage because honey child, ish is going on. Everything's getting so bloody expensive. But while we're waiting on that, effective February the 1st, which is how many days we got in this month? We got 30. What month is this? January? So that is on Sunday, we will be increasing the following fees. The increase will apply to purchase made on or after February the 1st. Well, damn, I better hurry up and purchase a ticket. I got a message came anyways right now. I need a ticket before the increase. Oh my God. Oh my Lord, we're getting hit all over. Every single corner. No, sir. Morning, Siobhan. Anthony says to buy 71 on Sunday. That's Makiva's age. Did you wish him a happy birthday, Sandy? His birthday was last week. No. Don Lemon was arrested for what? Talking about Trump? Let's see. Don Lemon. Anything possible these days. Yep. Ex-CNN anchor Don Lemon arrested on charges connected to the Minnesota church protests. Of course. They went into the house of a Washington Post news reporter the other day and started digging up, which is, again, unprecedented that you'd go to their house. Normally you'd go to their place of work if it's about their reporting or, free speech is no longer free. You listen, don't go in America and be saying nothing over there. You keep it zipped for whatever amount of time. I don't even want to talk to, don't talk to the Uber driver. Don't talk to the hotel clerks. Don't say nothing. Just hand them your little card. Be like, I will soon be leaving your country. I'm just here to shop. Leave me the hell alone and get out. So I'm not surprised that he's been arrested because I expect anybody these days who speak out to be arrested. Did you guys see the clip with Melania where she basically said that, you know, if people would just agree with Trump, everything would be fine. She's like, just agree with Trump. You know, he's a good man, and if you just agree with him, then everything will be perfectly fine. I'm thinking, in what world is that the solution? Look at this clip real quick. Oh, the minister has arrived. Oh, good.
In the trailer. So the president is standing there and gets asked, you know, what will your legacy be? What's your focus for the second term? And he says, I want to be remembered as a peacemaker. And you added, and unifier. And I'm curious as to what role you play in that, or what your designs are for how you can help facilitate that, because there's no question that the country needs a lot of unifying at this moment.
Yes, it does, but I think he's unifier. He's unifier not just here in the United States, but around the world. He stopped many wars, and as well here in the United States, it's a lot of opposition, and that's the problem, right? So the people not agreeing with everything what he does. And, you know, they just need to come on the same page and see that he wants to make America only safer and better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the problem. The problem is that y'all are disagreeing. Okay, so let's just stop the disagreeing and just come on the same page. And once you agree, you'll become like what's her face? Nicki Minaj. You just agree and you'll get what you want to. You'll get your green card. You'll get your, you know, somebody says it's like the Christies. They got out of jail. They got their get out of jail card once they start to agree as well. Okay. Let's see. Do we have anybody talking yet? No. All right. So we saw the government just walked in. We saw the ministers, the premier. I saw Minister Anglin. I saw the Attorney General, Miss Julie, Permanent Secretary. Who else was it that just walked in? So they all just walked in. So I'm assuming now the conference might actually get properly started. Lots of dead air this morning that I had to fill, so I don't want to, because on radio we can't have dead air. National Education Conference 2026. All right. So I think we're going to hear something shortly. Who's this young man with the long dreads? Man, his dreads are long.
Financial Services and Commerce.
Okay.
Honorable Andre Ebanks.
Yes.
Minister for Finance.
We need it to be a little bit higher, I think.
Education and Training. Honorable Ralston Anglin. Minister for Health, Environment, and Sustainability.
His mic is coming in a bit low.
Minister for Social Development. Apologies.
Okay.
Minister for Social Development and Innovation, Youth, Sports, and Culture, Honorable Isaac Rankin. The Attorney General, Honorable Samuel Bulgin. Elected Member of Parliament and Parliamentary Secretary, Heather Borden. Elected Member of Parliament and Parliamentary Secretary, Julie Hunter. Apologies again. Honorable DG, forgive me. Deputy Governor and Head of the Civil Service, Honorable Franz Manderson. Acting Deputy Chief Officer and Acting Deputy Chief Officer for the Ministry of Education and Training, Mr. Elroy Bryan. Director, Department of Education Services, Mr. Mark Ray. Representatives for the UCCI, OES, DCFS, HSA, Parliament Management Commission, PTA representatives, educators, other special invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning. Also, good morning to the Cayman Islands and everyone else joining us here today, both online and in person. On behalf of the Minister of Education and Training and the Department of Education Services, welcome to the opening plenary of the National Education Conference 2026. We are pleased to welcome our distinguished guests, education leaders, presenters, partners, and all educators from private and public schools all across the Cayman Islands. Whether you're here with us in this room or joining us online, we are grateful to have you join us for this important national gathering. Today brings us together to reflect, to connect, and to continue strengthening the future of education in our country. As we begin, it is fitting that we ground today's proceeding in gratitude and reflection. At this time, I invite Mr. Elroy Bryan, Acting Deputy Chief Officer in the Ministry of Education and Training, to lead us in prayer. Please help me in welcoming Mr. Elroy Bryan.
Good morning. Protocol having been established, let us go to our Father in heaven at this time in prayer. Our most gracious, loving Heavenly Father, we come into your presence at this time, dear God, and we start by thanking you, dear God, for how great you are. Dear God, we realize that you spoke everything into existence that we see. We thank you for the wonderful showers of blessings that we're receiving today, dear God, and we give you thanks for that. At this time, dear God, we come and we thank you for our government. We thank you for our elected members of the government, dear God, and we pray that you continue to be with them and that you guide them, dear God, as they continue to do your work. We thank you for our education sector, dear God. We thank you for the ministry staff. We thank you for the department staff. We thank you for our teachers, our leaders within our schools. And most importantly, we thank you for our students. Dear God, we understand that we have a great responsibility to help our students, dear God, to achieve, dear God, the many talents that you have blessed them with. We pray for their parents, that you will be with them and help them. And at this time, we come now and we pray for this wonderful event, this education conference. We thank you for the talents that we have within our system. We pray that you be with the persons who have prepared their presentations and help them, dear God, as they present today. Dear God, as we move forward as a country, we continue to pray that we will always put our trust in you, understanding, dear God, that you have told us that if we look to you, dear God, that you will direct our steps and that you will help us in all that we do. We pray for unity, dear God, in the education system. And we continue to pray that we will continue, dear God, to always look to you for everything, as we understand that you are all powerful, all knowing. Thank you again for your love and mercy. In Jesus we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Bryan. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite you to please stand as we honor our beloved Cayman Islands with the national song. It'll be performed by Jamie Foster of John Gray High School, a talented young vocalist who will lead us in this moment of national pride. Please help me, join me in welcoming Jamie Foster.
All right.
O land of soft, fresh breezes, o verdant trees so fair, with thy Creator's glory reflected everywhere. O sea of palest emerald, merging to darkest blue.
Sing along, folks.
Whene'er my thoughts fly
Godward, I always think of you. Dear verdant island sets in blue Caribbean. Don't make fun of me. I know I can't sing, but do it anyway. I'm coming, coming very
How beauteous I'll to
Woo. It's got some highs and ooh. Although I wandered far, my heart enshrines thee yet.
Homeland fair Cayman Isle, I cannot thee forget.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Hot mess. Beautiful, beautiful. Evelyn's like, don't sing.
Thank you, Jamie, for that beautiful rendition. I
I
think she
know.
deserves another little round of applause.
Yes, hers was nice. Very nice.
Now, I do have a quick reminder for all of those in attendance here, all who are here but haven't checked in for their individual sessions. I ask you to please do so before the start of each session. Okay. At this point, I'd like to offer apologies on behalf of the Chief Officer, Sitonya Cacho, who is currently under the weather and unable to join us as planned. I know she very, very much wanted to be here and is pretty sure she's watching online. So just wishing her well in her recovery. But however, in her stead, I would like to invite Acting Deputy Chief Officer Elroy Bryant to offer remarks.
Good morning, colleagues, partners, and distinguished guests. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the National Education Conference. While protocol has been ably established, I wish to acknowledge our Premier, the Honorable Andre Ebanks, the Deputy Governor, the Honorable Franz Manderson, and other members of government in attendance, along with our civil service colleagues and private sector partners. Your presence here today underscores a shared understanding that education is a national responsibility, one that is advanced through collaboration, strengthened by innovation, and measured by the impact it has on our people. I also wish to recognize our Honorable Minister for Education and Training, the Honorable Ralston Anglin, whose vision and leadership continues to guide our education agenda, and our keynote speaker, Dr. Sonja Hulson-Alexander, whose insights will help frame today's discussions. I likewise thank our facilitators and presenters for sharing their expertise, and acknowledge our delegates because your engagement, reflection, and contribution will ultimately define the success and relevance of this conference. The Ministry of Education and Training is grounded in a strong belief that the meaningful progress occurs where innovation and inclusion intersect. When we create spaces for thoughtful dialogue, such as this, we open pathways toward a more responsive and forward-looking education system, one that recognizes diverse learner needs, embraces new approaches, and supports Caymanian learners from the earliest stages of childhood and throughout their educational journey. Throughout the day, we will explore education strategies and engage in conversation about inclusive learning experiences and innovative practices. These discussions are essential. The perspectives shared here will help inform policies and programs that move beyond intention and deliver real, measurable impact, ensuring equity, strengthening outcomes, and enabling every student to succeed. As we engage, I encourage you to challenge assumptions, seek new perspectives, and embrace collaboration. The challenges facing our education sector are complex, but so too is our collective capacity to respond with purpose, creativity, and resolve. Together, we can build an education system that is innovative in approach, inclusive in design, and impactful in results. In closing, I once again extend my sincere appreciation to each of you for being a part of this conference. Your dedication to quality education and your commitment to excellence are the forces that drive progress and lasting change. I am confident that the work undertaken here today will translate into meaningful impact for our schools, our communities, and the lives of countless young people. Thank you for being champions of education, and thank you for joining us. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Brand, for speaking out loud the Chief Officer's warm words and encouraging words and setting the tone for today's proceedings. It is now my privilege to invite the Minister for Education and Training, the Honorable Ralston Anglin, to deliver his remarks. Please join me in welcoming Minister Anglin.
Good morning, everyone. I certainly wish all of you could see the view from up here. Today marks an important day for us. An important day where you, our deliverers of education services, come together in this fashion to ensure you continue to collaborate, you continue to innovate, you continue to include, you continue the journey for positive impact. Before I deliver my brief remarks, I want to apologize for Her Excellency the Governor, who just sent me a quick note saying she wished she could be here, but she had another engagement and was unavoidably absent. Also, want to ask you to say a quick prayer for our Chief Officer, Sitonya Cacho, who I know, in speaking to her a few minutes ago, is really feels, I think her not being here makes her feel worse than the flu that she has. But I know she's watching us online, so I know she's here in spirit with all of us. I want to also ensure that everyone knows that I've been hearing the rumblings that I'm not coming to school visits the way I did in my first tour of duty. But I'm happy to report, I think I see West End in the house. There they are. I'm happy to report that I have witnesses. The school tours have officially kicked off, and I started in West End just yesterday in meeting with the senior team and all of the staff there. And so over the next couple of months, I will be coming to every single school campus to ensure that I meet with all of the senior leader teams and every single one of you as practitioners to ensure that you have a direct voice in the journey that we're going to be undertaking together over the next 4 years to ensure that we put education squarely where it should be, the #1 national priority in this country. Innovation. We've included lots and lots of tools for you as practitioners, for our students. We've invested heavily in technology. We've just rolled out a new system that helps you better manage your schools, your students. We got a one-to-one device policy. We will continue to invest in technology, but it's not lost on me that we must also ensure that with that technology comes great responsibility, and we must ensure that we continue to offer you the in-depth training to ensure that the technology is a key enabler to better practice. Technology in and of itself is not going to deliver the results. It is you, all of you, interfacing with all of your students that will deliver the results that we need. We've made great strides in inclusion in our system. Gone are the days where if there's a doubt, the child goes to Lighthouse School. We have so much more appreciation and have included a policy priority around inclusion that is having meaningful impact on our students' lives. When we think of the autism classroom at Sir John Cumber Primary School, when we think of all of the sensory rooms that we create on so many campuses, when I think about just during this last graduation season, where three students were issued leaving certificates. And so their achievement wasn't to the level that they could attain a level 1 diploma. But they were embraced them and their families, and allowed to walk across the stage with their peers with a high school leaving certificate, you would not believe the impact that that had. Because I met with one of the young men and their mother. And when she was in my office, she actually started to cry because she was so appreciative that as a system, we allowed her young son to walk with cap and gown with his peers. That evening had great, great impact. And so we must ensure that we push forward with our inclusive school policies. We are about ensuring that we assist families and this country in shaping and transforming the lives of little children to become responsible adults. You all have heard me say, we are not in the business of taking care of small children. We're in the business of creating responsible adults of tomorrow. That is the impact that a good education system has on the lives of our young learners. And so those of you who are reception practitioners, please remember every day that in 13 short years, those small little children that are in your care are going to be either walking across a platform to receive their graduation certificate and going on to SciFec, going on to dual entry, and then in the blink of an eye, in the workforce. Those of you who are a little more seasoned veterans can tell your younger colleagues just how quickly that happens. And so in everything we do on a day-to-day basis, let us keep that at the center of our minds. That those young learners, before we know it, are going to be the adults of tomorrow, and a lot of them coming back and visiting you in your classrooms with their own children. And so we must ensure that as we innovate, as we be inclusive, that we are having the positive impact that our children deserve. I am confident that in this hall, we have the people to make this happen. And that is all of you. I know that there are times where you get frustrated. I know there are times where you feel unsupported by the department, by the ministry, by the community, by parents. But during those difficult times, I can only ask you that as you refresh and reflect and go back to school the next day, you look at every one of those children that are in your care and remember what the mission is. Remember why you took up this calling. And you took up this calling to transform lives. And as you do that, there can be no greater reward. There can be no greater reward. So, impact, that positive impact, has to be what we think about every single day throughout a school year. Those of you who know me know that a lot of my own lessons that I take with me in life come from my absolute love of music. And one of my favorite artists is Teddy Prendergast. Yeah, you can clap. A lot of people know Teddy Prendergast as the mellow, soulful artist who delivers some of the greatest love songs. What a lot of people don't know is in his early journey in music, he was the lead singer for Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. And they sang a song, Wake Up Everybody. And in that song, they delivered a message and a calling to everyone. They had a calling for the politicians. They had a calling for doctors. They had a calling for everyone, but they ensured they had a calling for you, for teachers. And they said, wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. Because they're the ones that's coming up and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. If you don't know that song, take an opportunity, either on a break or later this evening, and listen to it. Because if you listen to those words, you must get goosebumps as a teacher. Because in that short verse, it is the charge for every educator. Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. That's innovation, right? Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. Because they're the ones who's coming up and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. You also know that I get a lot of inspiration from Bob Marley. And in his song, Crisis, he spoke of not everyone having sunshine in their lives. And he also reminded us that we can either be that additional dark, dreary cloud in someone's life, or you can be that ray of sunshine. I don't need to tell you, but I'll remind you, in front of you every day are children who come from the widest spectrums of households. And I want to remind you that some of them come from a dual family, dual parent household that's stable, that is nurturing, that is supportive of them and supporting of them as learners. But way too many come from broken homes. Way too many come with great challenges, and you see it every day. I just want to remind you that a lot of the children who you encounter and the behaviors that you see in front of you being demonstrated need you to be nurturing, loving, caring. Because no matter how much we innovate, no matter how much we include, if that element is missing, it is all for naught. Because as we innovate, as we include, it takes your patience, your love, your care, your dedication to be that ray of sunshine that that child may be getting as the only ray of sunshine in their lives. And that could very well be the ray of sunshine that they are going to be able to follow through their education journey that takes them from a broken home, a challenged home, to a bright outcome in being a productive adult. That is the power our system has. That is the power you have. That is the power you must exercise every day as you encounter all of your students, those who come from that stable, strong home, who more than likely will be a high flyer at the end, and those who come from the broken home, those who come from a challenged environment, who need you to be that ray of sunshine as you innovate, as you include, to ensure that you can lead them to that brighter and better tomorrow. And so today, it gives me great pleasure to officially open the National Education Conference 2026. I wish all of you have a productive day. I'm sure that we're going to have riveting sessions. I'm sure there's going to be deep learning. And what I'm most proud of is that so many of our own educators are going to be delivering a number of those sessions. So I wish you a successful conference. I'm going to stick around and I'm going to actually peep in on a couple of the sessions myself. Most of you know, I tell you all the time, I'm an accountant, not a teacher, but it is because of loving, caring teachers. It started with Miss Ebanks when I was a 5-year-old boy and ended with me at sixth form at John Gray that put me where I am. Create the next Minister of Education, create the next Premier, create the next doctor, create the next mechanic, create the next plumber, create the next innovator of industry, because the power is in your hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your remarks, your vision, leadership, and commitment you bring to the advancement of education in our country. If that doesn't get you going this morning, I don't know what will. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, we're going to take a brief moment to share a little love, a little appreciation with those of you that are here with us this morning. Before you arrived today, a few seats in this room were discreetly marked with a special sticker. The sticker is going to be on the right-hand side, your right-hand side of your chair leg. If you spot that sticker, congratulations. You're one of this morning's winners. All right? I made sure it wasn't another one.
Everyone is checking under their seats to see if they may have been lucky enough to win a prize.
It's the front right leg of the chair. Your right. And the gift is underneath the chair. Okay, okay. Check yours.
I don't see anybody jumping up saying that they want.
Got one? Under the chair? Look under the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Okay. I don't know. People feel
okay. Well, there are three. We have one. Awesome, awesome. Congratulations. And yeah, and the third. Congratulations all. The 3 gift certificates. Just a small token of our appreciation for you guys being here with us today. Congratulations to all the winners. Okay, so our next performer is Matthew Moore, a student of Edna Moore Primary School, who will be sharing his musical gift with us on the clarinet. Matthew's performance is a wonderful reminder of the creativity and the potential within our young people and the important role that arts play in education. Please join me in welcoming Matthew Moore.
Oh, he's going to do a flute performance this morning. Very nice. All right, young man, let's hear it. Mm-hmm. He's making some adjustments to his instrument for our radio listeners. And yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Matthew. Another round of applause for Matthew. It's not easy getting here from Northside in the morning, so I appreciate it. I appreciate him being here. To introduce our keynote speaker, it is my pleasure to invite Ms. Tammy Hopkins, Acting Deputy Director of the Department of Education Services, to the stage. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Tammy Hopkins.
Good morning, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for our National Education Conference. Dr. Sonja Hollins Alexander is a senior consultant and best-selling author for Corwin Publishing. During her time at Corwin, she has served as a director of professional learning and vice president of global professional learning services. She has been in the field of education and publishing for 30 years, with 16 of them being in education leadership at the school, district, and higher education levels, and 11 of those being in educational consulting and publishing. During this time, she has served as a school social worker, teacher, assistant principal, principal, coordinator, director of professional learning, and chair of staff, serving in 2 metro Atlanta, Georgia school districts. She continued her professional beyond K through 12 as a senior consultant for professional development firms and independently. She has also served on numerous United Way nonprofit boards and served as the board president for Learning Forward Georgia and as a member of the national affiliate Leadership Council for Learning Forward. Through her professional journey, she has had experience in strategic planning, policy development, stakeholder communication and engagement, instructional and curriculum design, facilitation of adult learning strategy, executive leadership, coaching, and conference facilitation and design, and has served on numerous quality assurance teams with the Cognia School Accreditation and Certification Organization. She is a Corwin author and co-author of multiple best-selling publications consisting of the following: online professional development through virtual learning communities, collective equity, mind frames for belonging, identities and equity, and a leader's guide for creating the optimal culture and climate for learning, which is due to be published in June 2026. Sonja holds a bachelor's degree in psychology, a master's degree in social work, a teaching certificate in middle grades language arts, a specialist degree in educational administration and leadership, and a doctorate degree in curriculum and instruction. She is committed to partner engagement and implementation of evidence-informed, sustained professional learning services that positively impact teaching and learning, not by chance, but by design. It is my distinct pleasure to offer a warm welcome to the Cayman Islands to Dr. Sonja Hollins Alexander.
Good morning. That was a little bit much. First of all, I just want to thank you for welcoming me to this beautiful island. From when I stepped off the plane to everyone that I met today, the hospitality here has been exceptional. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be before you, distinguished educators and honorable guests. I really appreciated what I heard Honorable Anglin sharing a moment ago about us being a ray of sunshine. And so what I know is that there are several rays of sunshine that are sitting in the audience. And so today, as I am before you, my hope is that I leave you feeling impacted and knowing that creating this sense of belonging, not only for students, but for yourselves, is so critical to making sure that we're innovative, that we're inclusive, and most importantly, that we make an impact. And so as you heard my career, I would say to you that my journey has always been about advocating for teachers and for students. I would describe myself as having an advocate's heart. I don't believe that there's any profession better than the one that you are in. So before I get started, yes, give yourselves a round of applause. We give a lot of ourselves because we choose to, and we educate the future and we educate the world. And so this morning, I'm going to give you some evidence of how you can continue to make the impact that you've been making with students. And I know that you will leave here feeling confirmed and confident about who you are. Okay, oops, went a little fast. So the work that I have been doing and the writing that I have been engaged in is very much based in evidence and in research. What I think is so beautiful is that we have a lot of evidence around the effective practices and the things that we do in education. Our job is to make sure that we make the right decision so that we can make the impact that we desire. And so as I set off on this journey, really focusing on belonging and culture and climate, identities and equity, many people would say to me, well, Sonja, that's just a bunch of fluff. But I am here to tell you that creating a sense of belonging, elevating the identities of the students you serve, and making sure that they are valued and validated in the classroom will improve academic achievement. But even so, I want you to know that for yourself, that creating communities where you work with your colleagues and you elevate the interests and the ideas that you have will also create that sense. So when we think about the visible learning research, Professor John Hattie has spent his entire lifetime looking at evidence and the practices that not only make an impact in teaching and learning, but those that make the greatest impact. By a show of hands, how many of you are already familiar with the visible learning research? Yes, quite a few of you. In 2013, that's when I was introduced to Professor Hattie and that body of work, and it changed my trajectory. Not because I didn't feel confident in the things that I was doing, but now I know that there is evidence in the actions that I take that are going to make the impact on teaching and learning that I desire. So as you can see, the visible learning work is about making learning visible. We can see it, you guys, making it visible not only to our students, but making it visible to you every day in your classrooms. And so what Professor Hattie did in this evidence, he took a statistical analysis that he calls the effect size. So I'm not going to go really deep into that process this morning, but I want you to understand as I go through my presentation what the impact is on the specific teaching strategies and practices that I'm going to talk about. So you can see here, 0.40 is what Professor Hattie identifies as the hinge point. So when you look at the strategies from that body of work, anything above 0.40 has the potential to accelerate learning. But notice I said it has the potential. It can't do anything without you. And so implementation, being frequent, intense, and throughout the duration of supporting the students in your classroom is when you will see that impact. And part of being able to do that is creating a climate and culture where there is a sense of belonging. And so you heard in my introduction, I am a firm believer and not by chance, but by design. And so I'm here to tell you that design is elevated by the evidence and by the research, but design is actually communicated through you and your instructional practices. And so here is just another example of the effect size and the potential of impact. So when we think about innovation and we think about inclusive practices, when we engage in those ways, my friends, there is an opportunity to make an impact on the learning of every student that's in your classroom. But we need you. We need each and every one of you to do what you do best, to do what you came into this profession to do, to make a difference. And so, again, research is research, but without you and the implementation of what you do as educators, there isn't an opportunity for us to make that impact. So my book that I co-authored with Professor Hattie, Dr. Nicole Law, and Dr. Dominique Smith is about the mind frames. And so we're probably accustomed to hearing about mindsets, but mind frames are our why. It is what we think about. It is what we believe in. It is what we value. And so when you think about your belief system, you have to be committed to making sure that your students are elevated in all the ways that are possible in the spaces of learning. And so Professor Hattie did a lot of work, and we did a lot of work with him on mind frames for belonging, for identities, and for equity. So when you think about mind frames, I want you to consider that's my belief system. And so what Professor Hattie has identified, which blew me away when I first saw this, the way we think about what we do is more important than what we do. So I want you to take a moment to really massage that statement. The way we think about what we do is more important than what we do. And the reason why these mind frames precede anything else, because if I don't believe in my students and I don't believe that they're going to succeed and excel, it's in my thoughts. And guess what? They won't. So it starts with us. It starts with our belief system. And these mind frames for belonging, identities, and equity are instrumental in the ways in which we need to think to create inclusive and environments of belonging. So I'm going to give us a few opportunities this morning to engage with each other. And when I do, I'm going to pull us back together by saying waterfall. And so I put that up there as a reminder. And so you're going to hear me say waterfall, shh, because what I want you to do is be able to engage, but I'm going to need to pull you back together. So these are the mind frames for belonging, identities, and equity. I want you to take a moment to look at these and consider this question. How might the BIE mind frames be a catalyst for educators coming together with a focus on belonging for all members of the learning community? I'm going to give you 3 minutes to look at these, turn and talk to your neighbor, and think about, all right, Sandra just said that the way I think about what I do is more important than what I do. When I look at these mind frames, like we value engagement and learning for all, or we cultivate, fortifying, and sustaining environments, why might these be a catalyst for creating a sense of belonging for the learning communities that we're part of? So take about 2 to 3 minutes, turn and talk, and discuss these mind frames with your neighbor. Let's take about 1 more minute to bring our conversations to a close. 1 more minute. Okay, let's come back together. Waterfall. Shh. Awesome. So I see just a ray of sunshine out here before me. I would love for one person to just identify what was part of the conversation you had with your colleague. And I have a mic here. And so if you could just stand, and I'd like to hear, what did you discuss around how these mind frames can be a catalyst for creating a community of belonging? Oh, I know you're brave. And I heard lots of conversation. All right, we have a brave soul over here and a courageous one. Before you speak, Simone has a mic for you, and please identify your name.
Hey, hi. Hey, good morning. I'm Angela Scott from John Gray High School. As we were talking, my partners and I, it's all about relationship building, being open and communicative and loving throughout whether we're working with our own children in the classroom or our coworkers. It's about being open and loving and communicating.
I love that, Angela. Spot on. Yes, give Angela a round of applause. And Angela, I actually work for a publishing company. So I want you to go to the Corin website and pick out any book of your choice for being that courageous person. Thank you so much for sharing. So I need to bring Angela up here on the stage with me because she got it right. Relationships are critically important to making sure that we are able to actually exemplify the things that are identified in these mind frames. So when Professor Hattie, Nicole, and I worked on these mind frames, we did a Delphi study. But basically, we assessed people from all over the world to inquire and ask them, what would educators need to do to create that community and that culture of belonging? And so the analysis came up with these 10. But you will notice that intentionally there is the term we, because this work cannot be done in isolation. We have to do it together. So when you think about that, I want you to consider teacher-student relationships, Angela. Back to effect sizes. Remember, 0.40 is the hinge point. Anything above that has the potential to accelerate learning. So when you build relationships with your students, the effect size is 0.57, which is above the hinge point. So student-teacher relationships is not a nice to have, it's a need to have. So when we think about relationships, they fuel learning for our students. Rita Pearson, who we'll see a little bit later, said that kids don't learn from people they don't like. And I want to make it clear to you, it's not people who don't like them, it's people they don't like. And the only reason our students feel that way about us, because we haven't created a community of belonging. Oftentimes, they don't know if their teacher or the educators they work with know about them, love them, care for them. So relationships are important, and they're not extra, they are essential. So the next big piece of research is collective teacher-educator efficacy. And you can see right now, it's off the chart. So what is collective teacher-educator efficacy? It goes back to that belief system. Do we believe as a collective, as a group, as independent adults who support students that they can achieve and they can succeed, and that we're going to plan and make decisions around the best way for them to do that? And so there are many schools, didn't mean to go to that. There are many schools that are engaging in this consistently and have consistently to see the increase in student performance results. But again, here is the definition of collective teacher and educator efficacy. It's when we work together to plan, to moderate, to evaluate. We can't know our impact if we don't evaluate the things that we do. Critique the multiple interpretations of progress to achievement. And so achievement is important, but growth is critically important, and we need to celebrate it when we see it. So I'm about to show you a video of a high school in California, and I want you to notice what are some of the behaviors and the actions that are demonstrated by these educators and the students to create that culture of belonging through collective teacher and educator efficacy.
The reality is that we're human beings, and human beings have social and emotional needs. That includes teachers. Teachers work incredibly hard. Our work is intellectually challenging, it's socially challenging, and it can definitely take an emotional toll. The more that we can be here to support one another, the better that we'll all be. Trust gives you permission to be wrong, and being wrong is an important step toward finding ultimately the right answer to any sort of a problem.
Hi, Sabrina. Previously, my experiences were that you get to work, you sign in, you dash to your room, and you get started for the day. This school works really hard to make sure that no teacher is left on an island alone. We start with the morning meeting where you get to see your colleagues' faces. Just saying good morning is so important to setting the tone for the day. People know right away if maybe it was a rough start to the morning. Then I'm going to have a little bit more love as I go about my day to ensure that I'm my best self for my students. In every educational setting, we talk about modeling and modeling the dynamics of good relationships. For students to see that within us helps them to know how to interact with people that they come in contact with as well.
They make me feel like I matter. They make me feel like they don't just care about me because they're teachers and they care about, straight A's. They care about me as a person and my well-being. So I feel like that's why we behave better. It makes me want to respect them back.
I know that I'm at my worst when I'm in isolation because I'm only as good as me. The moment I start to have others to collaborate with, now that we're a collective, we can rise further together. Something that we've been working on for a couple of years is our professional learning communities. It truly is a collaborative experience where we are working together to problem solve things that are happening in each other's classrooms. It can be very vulnerable, bringing your practice out and putting it on display for all eyes to see, but it's a necessary part of improvement, and we trust each other to give honest feedback, but also growth-producing feedback. We recognize that by one of us getting better, we all get better. As a math teacher, I want my students to have a fantastic English experience. I want them to have a fantastic science experience. All of those things are things that I can leverage in the math classroom.
Everyone supports you. That support really pushes you to grow, to be a better person. They've pushed me to take a lot more classes than I would have done otherwise. Sometimes I could be a little lazy, but the teachers are always like on you. And when they're on you, you got to push forward, and that's what happens. You push forward, you get rewarded.
Very nice.
Every single day, in addition to a content learning intention and a language learning intention, we have a social learning intention. And the purpose of that shifts from day to day. We're building culture from the ground up.
Intentionality is so key to building that trust with the students and just letting them know, again, I've got a row of adults here who love me and care about me and who are listening to me. And I'm not just a body in the classroom. I'm not going to let you fail. I'm not going to let you be less than you're capable of being.
When students know that they're cared about, know that they're loved, it gives us a reason to come to school. We feel like we have something to come for.
This school is awesome, and the relationships that you build with teachers just makes you want to elevate yourself to that next level. It's the greatest school in the universe, and that's just really cool.
So take a couple of minutes, turn and talk to your neighbor, and identify any actions that you observed in this video and what might be something you can take back to your learning community to be on that journey of inclusive and belonging support. So take a couple of minutes and I'll bring us back together. Take about 1 more minute to bring your conversations to a close. Okay, waterfall. Shh. Thank your neighbor and your colleague for that discussion. And so what I hope you were able to observe in this video is not only do students need a sense of belonging, but we need it too. And the way that we do that is to depend on each other. It's to come together as a collective and to plan. Isolation isn't good for any of us. And guess what else? When we come together in those ways, our students see it. They see the modeling that we're doing as adults for the behaviors that they will then choose to take when they become adults. So I hope in that video you were able to take a few actions that you might be able to take back to your schools. And then the last piece of research that I want to bring forward to you is belonging. Who would have ever thought that belonging was evidence-based? We all want to belong. Perhaps we know what it feels like when we do and when we don't. And so a sense of belonging has the ability to impact a student's performance and learning at 0.46, again, above the hinge point. So it's not a nice to have, it's essential. So when we think about belonging, right here, teaching the whole child is not possible without creating a sense of belonging for all learners, not for some of the learners, not the ones that sometimes come into our spaces and they feel easy to love. It's for all the learners. And so when we talk about teaching the whole child, it's not just academics, but it is that social and emotional piece as well. But belonging allows for academic and social and cognitive opportunities to flourish and thrive. Belonging changes everything. Think about it. If you were sitting in this room right now, and maybe you are, and I hope not, because I certainly have felt a sense of belonging. But think about it. If you were sitting in here learning and you didn't feel like you belonged, would your mind, would your body, would your soul, would your spirit be ready for the academic rigor that perhaps you're going to receive throughout this day? And so belonging changes everything in a classroom environment. So we're going to zero in on the mind frames for belonging. You saw all 10 of the mind frames earlier. Those were reflective of belonging, identities, and equity. And so the 3 mind frames for belonging is we strive to invite all to learn. We evaluate engagement and learning for all. So we need to know our impact. Are all of our students engaged? Do they feel that sense of belonging? And then finally, back to that collective efficacy, we collaborate. And not only do we collaborate, but our students collaborate with each other to learn and thrive. Belonging is collective. It is how we come together. It is how we feel when we come together. So I hope right now you have a sense of belonging. And as we go forward, you understand the critical opportunity for creating that for each and every student in your classroom, because every student deserves to belong. How do we create belonging, though? You've seen some actions of how we create the collective, but how do we provide affirmation and support and value and validation to our students so that they know that they belong? Do you know your students? Do you know them? Do you know their interests? Do you know about their families? Do you know what makes them happy? Do you know what makes them sad? Do you know what happened on the weekends? And better yet, do you know your colleagues? Do you know the sister or brother beside you that's doing the same thing that you're doing? Do you tap into their funds of knowledge? Do you seek to be a collaborative? Creating a sense of belonging is about affirming us in the identities of who we are. So, gonna see another video. This one is to focus on belonging. So what I'd like for you to do is, what specific practices about belonging did you observe and learning about from the video? Okay?
Anything else special happened this weekend, friends?
In the pool, I did a cannonball. I know how to swim.
You know how to swim?
I know how to blow bubbles underwater.
You
Me
do?
too.
As human beings, one of the most essential needs we have is the need to belong. In school, children need a sense of belonging to be able to be productive learners. They need to be connected to their fellow students, connected to their teachers, to also be affirmed in who they are in a way that is positive and accepting.
I don't take swimming lessons.
In a belonging classroom, there's a community being explicitly built. The teacher knows each child and things about each of those children that they can mention and draw on.
I pay attention, I listen. I'm really invested in what they tell me. The students feeling loved, students feeling nurtured, students feeling like they have a place at school, they're safe. It activates their brain cells. What side were you on?
Sense of belonging is one of the most important activators of a child's engagement in learning. Everything about activating a child's cognitive skills begins with activating their social connectedness. The energy for learning is coming from the social connection that children have.
But in the end, we're trying to come up with an agreement.
Excellent. We're not going to comment, question. We're only going to encourage. Because they're culturally and linguistically diverse students, I want to really make sure that we are making them feel connections. All the writing we do in our class, it's very much about them. It helps them, promotes them to find their own voice and to share their stories.
Sometimes people think every Muslim person is a target or is a terrorist.
Thank you, Anissa.
What did this show us about what we are good at as a group?
Working together, because we often argue a lot.
Today, we did an activity that was really designed to get them thinking about how they're going to support each other. I think that reiterating the idea that we're in this together. I think it's hard to find the time, but doing some team building exercises at the beginning of the year and revisiting them can really help illustrate that point.
In a belonging classroom, they have a community that may meet in classroom meetings to problem solve together, to read stories together, to tell successes and accomplishments or important events together. They celebrate like families do, things that each other have done or have experienced.
Let's talk about what we admire about some of our friends.
I admire Jazara because she is so compassionate.
And when we're talking about being compassionate and being supportive of one another, it's to build that deeper connection for everyone, just to feel like this is their school family, this is somewhere they're loved, they're nurtured, they're taken care of, they're valued.
Thank you for speaking.
The community becomes a place where you can bring your emotions, your fears, your needs. You can be honest about what's going on and know that there will be acceptance, support, and love that's available to carry you through.
We all can work together and we all can try to strategize together and create a better pathway for others to be successful. And we can make it fun.
They're working together. They take care of each other, not just personally, but academically.
We're always pushing each other.
So take 3 minutes, turn and talk to your neighbor or a new neighbor on the other side of you and identify what were some specific practices you were able to observe where these teachers created a sense of belonging and the students in their classroom. And then we'll come back together. Let's take about 1 more minute. Okay, let's come back together. Waterfall. Shh. All right, I love another brave soul, another courageous soul to collaborate with me and all of your colleagues in this room regarding a practice you saw or something that you feel like you can take back to your classroom tomorrow. Just raise your hand. Yay, we have one here. So if you could identify your name.
Good morning. My name is Deborah Power Zergat.
Yes.
I'm a librarian in Kim and Brack Schools. We were talking about, this lady and I, Miss Denise, we're talking about how the children said a positive thing about each other. So we can take this back in our classrooms, in our sessions, in our groups. We can say, what is it that you like about this child, and give them affirmations and even ask them, what do you like about me, your
I love it.
educator? What is it that you don't like about me? So that you're putting everything on the table and you're saying there's room for improvement in all of us.
Thank you, Miss Deborah. Yes, a round of applause. What a great example. And I love that you were able to identify strategies. And so at the end of the presentation, you're going to see my email address and you can select any book of your choice. Okay. All right. So we are learning and we're gaining new knowledge about how to create a culture of belonging and that sense of belonging. And so as we continue, what we need to know, though, because we do have students and families, as we heard earlier, that come from many challenging backgrounds. What we can't do is point the finger at their families, at each other. Remember, we're collective. We're all in this together, and our belief system, our mind frame is we can engage every student that we support. And if we believe that, if we think that, then our actions are going to lead us to that. So just so that we remember, what are our jobs? Our jobs as a collective is to come together and teach the students we have, not the ones we would like to have, not the ones we used to have, but those that we have right now. And guess what, everybody? They're waiting on you. They know that you're their champions. They're looking to you to bring them into this learning community, to engage them, to uplift them, to support them. And so that is our job as a collective. So let's update, let's unlearn some things, and let's refine and let's reconsider. One, caring adult matters in the life of a child and in the life of a colleague. One caring adult. And I believe that each and every one of you is that one. And so when you are a caring adult, it says, I am here for you. You matter. And I am committed to your learning. I'm going to scaffold. I'm going to utilize different strategies because I believe and I know that you can get there because of my commitment. And I'm going to reach out to my colleagues all over the ministry. I'm going to get resources. I am going to collaborate. I'm going to institute collective efficacy because I am that one adult and I want you to know that you matter. Yes. So the secret ingredient is what Miss Angela shared. Teacher-student interactions create visibility because I see you. Thank you, Miss Sonja. I see you. I see that you care. You're here in the room. You're helping me when I struggle. Trust. Trust is built on honesty and commitment to your actions. So I can trust you if you do what you say you're going to do. So if you believe and you're committed to my learning, then when you come to school every day, that's what you're going to do. And you're not going to give up on me. And so I trust you when you do that. And identity affirmation and a community that believes in them. We know that teacher-students relationships multiply. This is research, multiply, and the likelihood of students achieving. Not our content knowledge, although that's important, because we do need to know what we're teaching about. Not what school we went to, not the neighborhood we're from, not the church we go to, but our relationship with that one student can change the trajectory of their lives. And so Rita Pearson has encouragement for all of us. And so as I bring this to a close, I want you to channel your inner Rita Pearson when you go back to your schools.
I have had classes that were so low, so academically deficient that I cried. I wondered, how am I going to take this group in 9 months from where they are to where they need to be? How do I raise the self-esteem of a child and his academic achievement at the same time? One year I came up with a bright idea. I told all my students, you were chosen to be in my class because I am the best teacher and you are the best students. They put us all together so we could show everybody else how to do it. One of the students said, really? I said, really? And I gave him a saying to say, I am somebody. I was somebody when I came. I'll be a better somebody when I leave. I am powerful and I am strong. I deserve the education that I get here. I have things to do, people to impress, and places to go. And they said, yeah. You say it long enough, it starts to be a part of you.
So when you go back to your classrooms, I want you to channel your inner, let me go into here, your inner Rita Pearson. Every student deserves a champion. Every student deserves a ray of sunshine. Every student deserves a caring adult. Every student deserves the commitment that you agreed to when you became a teacher. And I believe that each and every one of you educators, you're that person. You're that caring adult. You're the secret ingredient. And without a doubt, as we focus on innovation, inclusion, and impact, there is no better person to make that happen than each and every one of you. I believe in you. I want you to start believing in yourselves as a collective. I want you to come together and plan and make adjustments and do the things that you know how to do to uplift your learning community and create that culture of belonging. And so before you go, from a learning perspective, if not us, this is John Lewis. He comes from the great city that I am a part of. I've had multiple opportunities in his lifetime to meet him. He is always an inspiration. If not us, then who? If not now, then when? Now is the day. Now is the day for you to make that difference. Now is the day for you to create a sense of belonging. And I have no doubt from everything that I've learned about this amazing island, this amazing country, that everybody in these chairs is the right caring adult. Yes, time to get in some good trouble. Yes, that is the good trouble that we want to get in, that we chose, the profession that we chose. It's not easy. It's never easy, but things that are worth it, and I know y'all have heard this before, are never things that don't come with a challenge. But guess what? You've been chosen to be the ones to take on that challenge. There is confidence in you from your leaders that you're the right group to be able to do it. And I know that you are. So when you leave me, make sure that you give some feedback, some love, because I want to be able to continue to go and speak to amazing people such as yourself and continue to encourage and to motivate you. You got this. You can do it. You will do it. You will create that culture of belonging. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Hollins Alexander, for sharing your insights, experience, and practical strategies with us. I think I could speak for the room and everybody online that we all found it truly inspiring. To everyone watching online and across the Cayman Islands, thank you for joining us for the opening plenary of the National Education Conference 2026. We are grateful that you took the time to be a part of this important national conversation on education, growth, and opportunity. To our educators and conference participants here today, on behalf of the Ministry of Education and Training, thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your commitment, your passion, your willingness to lead, learn, and collaborate. We now invite you to transition to your scheduled workshops where the conversations and learning will continue throughout the day. Just as a reminder, if you haven't checked in or registered for your session as yet, please go to the booth to my right in the foyer and the conference team will be there to help you out. Thank you again for joining us. Have a productive conference and enjoy the rest of your day.
This agreement represents one of the most significant national reforms in living memory. These reforms will ensure that Australians can continue to access world-class healthcare as well as disability supports. It prioritises investment in our precious public health system and builds on my government's measures to strengthen Medicare. It is a major step forward in addressing the pressures that are there on our health and aged care systems, as well as on the NDIS, ensuring their sustainability into the future. As part of this deal, the Commonwealth will provide an additional $25 billion for public hospitals to reach a record $219.6 billion over the next 5 years. This is 3 times more additional funding for public hospitals than was agreed to under the last 5-year agreement under the Morrison government. We also committed to working together to make the NDIS better and more sustainable. We want growth in the future to be 6% or less and have agreed to work towards that. My government will continue to help states to take pressure off their hospitals as well on top of this agreement through the 1-800 Medicare system that began on January 1, through the additional urgent care clinics, of which we will have 137, 120 of those are already open, and they're taking pressure off emergency departments. And the record new investment in expanding bulk billing is working. There are now 3,300 medical centres that are fully bulk billed. 1,300 of those are new as a direct result of our tripling of the bulk billing incentive. In addition to that, we are opening 92 Medicare mental health clinics, cheaper medicines for every Australia, and delivering the most significant aged care reforms that have been implemented by any government this century. The success of our Commonwealth has always been about finding common ground. And I want to thank the Premiers and Chief Ministers for the work that we've done together over a long period of time, making sure
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.